Hey there, IP's family, Grace here. I hope that you're all doing well. Listen, I'm sure that you have all heard of the expression, yes, youth can. And I know that the expression has been used countless times by different people, but I might want to use it several times going forward to reassure more young people that they not only can, but they are doing it. So today I'm going to share another beautiful story from Germany and to tell you how young people are doing it already here. So like this video and subscribe.
Ich meine, wir fahren gleich in die Stadt. In die Stadt, die Kernflüsse dauert eigentlich nur 2 Stunden.
Alright, like
Everyone can create the space like ever they want. So if you are part of the collective or even visitor, you can say, oh, maybe I have an art idea. Can I bring my art and put it here?
Yes.
And then it's cool.
Right. So in this case, we have like sort of a knife.
We speak about and then we say, okay,
Yes.
it's right or it's,
Hi. Tell us your name.
oh, my name's Karen from Zambia.
From Zambia.
A beautiful Sunday morning, and what a better way to start my morning this beautiful Sunday than to go to church.
Christian Roman. Yeah.
I love that. Can you see this?
Yeah.
So tell us a bit about the story.
Ooh, I'm not so good. I'm not so good. No, it's not Jesus. I think Jesus died, and it's the hill where Jesus died, and they're sad about Jesus died. But I don't really get because there you can see a book in the lady's hand. I don't know what the sign is for that.
Bible there.
Maybe a Bible, and he is holding a sword. I don't know what this means, but I think it's the oil hills where Jesus was killed, and they're his followers being sad about it.
I mean, they've done a good job just trying to create all that, right? I think that's okay. So we can do it. Thanks, Josie.
You're welcome.
So can you just go ahead inside?
Yeah, we can just go inside. Guten Tag. Bitteschön. We can just continue.
my YouTube channel, iPeace, and I hope you're all doing well. So again, bringing you stories from Germany and some parts of, some other parts of Germany. And again, the role of this particular YouTube channel is to document stories of young people and women who are in their own right way telling, contributing towards the development and peace in the globe. And again, I'm particularly doing stories of African origin and, offering alternative stories to counter the many challenges that African continents, faces, but also having young people be part of that role that shapes what we can able to see right now as development, but also as peace. So today again, it's another beautiful day, and we are by the, is it a lake?
It's a river.
It's a river. I don't know what the river's name is, but I know you'll be told. So I'm joined by a very amazing young person who is also doing a lot of work here in Germany, and he will be telling you more about his work and everything. So, karibu. Do you know what that means?
Asante sana.
He knows. Okay, so maybe you can tell us your name and what you do here in Germany.
Yeah, hello everyone. It's a pleasure to be here. Thank you for the opportunity and invitation. Yeah, my name is Michael, and yes, I'm born and raised in Germany, and I think I'm involved in many projects or experienced a lot. So you need maybe to specify what you want to hear about.
Sure. So are you? Do you have some roots in Africa? I'm just asking.
Yes, like my dad is from Ghana.
Oh, you're Afro-German now.
Yes.
So you're African German. Can
Yes.
you say that?
Yes.
Okay, nice. So we're joined by Michael today, and I know he's doing a lot of work, especially in the activism space. And maybe just to get to know, what is your role as a young person? What do you think is your role as a young person in shaping democracy and development, especially in Germany, now that you live here?
Thank you. Yeah, I think as a young person, it's especially like living in Germany, having like the German passport, the European passport privilege. I think it's really important, yes, to stay active and also to question and challenge like decisions by the German government, by the European Union, which are affecting like places all over the world. So I think as a young person in Germany, it's especially with like roots also like from Africa, in Africa, I think it's really important to stay active and yes, to question like the colonial continuities and the new colonial activities we have and we witness in Germany and all over the world. So that's like a field, the wide field, me and a lot of people working on.
Right. Is it an easy field to work on, being, you are Afro-German and then you're in the space where the dominant, population is white people? How is the experience for you?
Yeah, I would say it's for sure challenging.
Yeah.
But we all do our best, and I think if you have a strong community and nice friends and people around you, yes, that you can also get energy from this and that you can definitely do the work. But I think also a lot of people, including me, are also once in a while maybe are suffering like from burnout or being exhausted and so on, because of course it's like a lot to do and you need to balance your energy as well. And of course like the dominant society or the dominant white majority in Germany is not caring too much, is ignorant, is not listening, not taking responsibility or accountability for the actings and of the country. So yes, it's a challenge.
Right, it is a challenge. Even back in Africa, I remember, a lot of stories that I get to also sort of document. There's a lot of challenges, even for Africans themselves living in Africa, and especially if young people are involved into, questioning what the government is doing, what the system is all about. It really poses a lot of challenges. But then maybe what our viewers would love to know, what exactly is your role in activism? What exactly do you do and how do you do it?
Yeah, I will try to come to this point. When you asked in the beginning, one question before or two, what is our contribution or my also like to peace and development? Mm-hmm. Yes, I think when we talk about Germany,
you can capture that.
Yeah, when we talk about peace and development, I think we have a big problem and issue that Germany always is displaying themselves as like so-called developed state and industrial nation, looking to the rest of the world, especially the global south and the African continent, as so-called underdeveloped, which is like an insult and hiding like a big part of the truth, how the situation came, or how Germany is also responsible for this. So at the same time also we see Germany as underdeveloped in many aspects, where there is a need for more progress and for real humanity and for better life conditions. Even in Germany we have like a lot of homeless people, poor people. We have a lot of problems here, and we are not fighting the climate crisis at all enough. We have big problems with racism, also with sexism or patriarchal structures in Germany. So I think there's a lot to do about development in Germany, but also like, yes, forcing to do this like transfer of knowledge when it comes to the development. And when it comes to peace, Germany is also always pretending that they support peace and do peacekeeping activities all over the world as so-called development aid or whatever. But at the same time, Germany is one of the biggest weapon exporting countries in the world since long time already, even with the German Nazi past, where one conclusion was that Germany never should again deliver weapon or participate in wars or have an army. But now Germany has a big army, they're investing 100 billions in this army, they are delivering weapons to conflicts and also to dictatorships. And this is something we are questioning, we're tackling, and we are taking like this German hegemonial state and this attitude. And more specifically, I think this means to participate in anti-militarist action, which means protesting or demonstrating or blocking like against weapon companies we have a lot in Germany with Nazi and colonial past. The weapon companies we have in Germany are the same which were delivering already weapons back then for the colonial wars.
Wait, so I love this. I mean, you're saying that there's still an existence of weapon companies, weapon making companies in Germany, and they, of course, probably they're the world suppliers of legal firearms, is it? In Africa, there's this challenge of terrorism. There's a lot of challenges of young people especially having access to illegal weapons, and this causes a lot of violence, and especially a lot of killings that are reported, especially in the East African region. And the question has always been, where does these particular weapons comes from? And no one knows, no one talks about them. So even my work in the disarmament space, whereby we're trying to urge the young people to surrender their weapons, it's never that easy, because there's some sort of a sponsor who adequately supplies this particular weapons. And my question to you would be then, what would you then say is the right thing to do, especially now that we know that Germany is part of the countries that are actually supplying these weapons? What do you think should be done, especially in regards to disarmament?
Yes, I think we have different campaigns like demanding the weapon companies to produce products which are like a benefit for everyone in society. Like whatever you can imagine a factory can produce, they should produce, like maybe stuff for the kitchen, but like no weapons. And always they come up with a lazy excuse that if Germany is not delivering the weapons, other countries like France or the States or whoever, yes, they will do it. But I think it's a lazy excuse, because if you're one of the biggest, maybe just start to stop, and then
The best follows suit.
maybe. And I think if they're not doing it voluntarily, the peace movement, which is not that strong like in the 80s in Germany, but yes, which is coming up again a bit, or like the anti-militarist movement, yes, I think they're trying to stop weapon factories by any means necessary. And also like drones, for example, there's also a campaign against like autonomous drones or drones in general who are able to kill people, which is also such like unfair activity to send a drone somewhere, kill people regardless if they are civilians or not, and later say, okay, we are sorry, we missed the target. Yes, just because you can do it, but this is not how it should be.
Right. Awesome. But then you're talking of course, your role now is to organize, you participate in campaigns that sort of tries to, persuade eradication of this particular weapon production, but you're also saying that young people especially needs to be really vigilant of especially who they're associating with in regards to activism, because it all starts from idea. It's an ideology that kind of develops when especially young people gets to be recruited into such kind of radicalized movements. What maybe we would love to know is then what kind of activism or other campaigns have you been able to just organize and participate in, and what were the agendas and the mission, and where do you want, what's a perfect world for Germany look like? What does that look like a perfect world for Germany?
That's like a tough question.
Yeah.
I think I can make a link from the weapon companies, because the weapon companies are not only producing weapons, but also so-called defensive arms or products. And these products are used at the borders, and not only at the European borders, which are the deadly borders we have in the world, but also on African borders. Like these different companies, however, it's Rheinmetall or other
Do you know these
weapon
companies by names?
Yes, for example, Rheinmetall is one big one. I think we have Krauss-Maffei Wegmann. We have several others, like also Airbus. And Airbus, most people know them about planes, but they're also involved in weapons, like also Bosch, like all German, like many more. Also like Mercedes and so on, they support then the trucks where you can put the rockets on or whatever. They deliver them to Erdogan, who's doing the war against the Kurdish people and so on, and to Saudi Arabia. So these companies, they are also producing the material to control migration or to stop migration and to build fences or like civilian technology and so on, or even like sound cannons or whatever kind of bullshit they want to use. So, and this brings us a bit to the topic of migration and anti-colonial perspective, decolonial or post-colonial perspectives. And in this field, I was involved in different groups in different cities doing like post-colonial, so-called post-colonial or anti-colonial city tours, where we talk about the colonial past of Germany and where we also imagine a better world which is not honoring colonial mass murders with street names or statues, but bringing them down, honoring people from the anti-colonial resistance, honoring like nice things and people, and like telling the history not only from the perspective of the oppressor. And I think the question for like the perfect world or utopia, first I always say everything what is bad, I would stop it.
Right.
And I think then the world would be already much better.
Yeah.
But I think a perfect world would be where Germany is really conscious and aware, when we talk about Germany, about the colonial past and continuities and working on them. Calming down, paying reparations, creating more equality and equity worldwide, but also in Germany, and going more for renewables, not needing fossil fuels to fuel their weapon industry, going for renewables, sharing like the knowledge about technology which is there with parts of the world where also some processes are needed, and that everyone can like live in freedom, have freedom of movement, the freedom to move but also to stay.
Regardless of
yes.
your race, your ethnic group, or
Class,
class
gender,
or,
sexual
gender,
orientation,
yeah.
everything. And I think just coexistence and peace, like peaceful coexistence.
Yeah. Do you think Germany is a peaceful country?
I think if we look to places where there's like serious war, of course Germany is really peaceful compared to a place where there's war. However, if we talk about the Western Sahara, if we talk about Yemen, if we talk about Afghanistan, Syria, or Iraq, well, in all places Germany somehow might have a role.
Peaceful, maybe.
But I think when it comes to racism, we're also fighting against. When it comes to fascism, we have a serious problem with Nazis in Germany, even after everything what happened to the Holocaust and killing of so many millions of people. And we have a serious problem with racism, and regardless if it's like racist police who are killing black people on the street, if it's like racist or fascist right extremist terrorists who are killing people, this is not peaceful to me.
It is not peaceful. peaceful.
At
And
all.
also just considering how Germany is the, one of the highest producers of illegal arms and weapons.
Yes.
So when I ask you, like, is Germany a peaceful country? And then probably it's one of the most peaceful in Europe.
Yeah.
But then they're the highest in producing such illegal arms and supplying to other countries. So how
100%.
ironical that is, yeah?
100%.
Right. So maybe out of the context, being that you have some roots in Ghana, do you probably look at someday, going back home, like permanently?
I definitely like to go to Ghana on a regular basis
Yeah.
if this is possible and I can afford it. And of course, I could imagine also like to live at one point in Ghana also for like a longer time, not to even stay. But I think also this is linked to having some money, which also in Germany is not falling from the trees.
Yeah, that's true.
Yes, but I really like and love to stay in connection with like my relatives and like
That's important.
yes,
I mean,
home.
connecting back to your roots is very important, and it gives you probably the identity that, if you ask me, most young people are looking for. Those who probably do not have a definition of what that looks like. Maybe as you wind up, I mean, this has been really interesting, guys. If you have any question, drop it in the comment section, and I'm sure he will be following and he'll respond to all of your questions. Maybe as just we conclude, maybe what we'd want to ask is, in your line of work, I remember you also mentioned something about Black Lives Matter, that it's something in Germany here.
Yes.
Yeah, so maybe tell us about that. Were you able to participate in that at some particular point, and how does that look like in Germany?
Yes, thank you. Yeah, I definitely was involved in like Black Lives Matter movements in Germany or groups. And also when the murder of George Floyd happened, which of course is far away from Germany but caused the outcry worldwide, we were also organizing like big demonstrations on this first weekend and also continued to work on the topic, and we did it also already before. And we always highlight, if something like this happens, the whole world is having this outcry, oh, it's so horrible what happens in the States, and Germany is less bad. Yeah, it might be less bad, but we also have a long list of black people and people of color who was murdered by police. However, it's Uri Jallo or Christi Schwundeck in Frankfurt. I could continue now and tell 10, 20 more names. So this is something we are really working on. And even recently, like a few weeks ago, Mohamed Lamine Dramé was murdered or shot by police with 5 bullets or 4 bullets and hit 5 times in Dortmund. And even today I saw new investigations about the body cams and about police lying and not taking accountability and so on. So this is an ongoing topic in Germany. But also I think it's a bit up and down. I think there's sometimes a hype and then everyone is supporting Black Lives Matter, but maybe a few months later people are busy with other stuff. Yes, I think that's with a lot of topics like this.
What would then be the most sustainable way of just ensuring that there is equity and, everyone else, so that we don't have these movements pretty much advocating for the lives of black people, rather people to be cognizant of everyone's right and enjoy equal rights, just like whether you're white or black, whether you're lady or a woman or a man, depend in whichever way. What do you think would be the most sustainable way of just ensuring that the lives of people are respected regardless of where you come from and all that?
I think one way would be that everyone is like seeing and trying to check or reflect on their privilege, being aware about it, and also like meeting people on eye level as much as is possible and with respect. And I think also one really important other step would be that all movements come together and build alliances. However, if it's the anti-racist movement, the feminist movement, the queer rights movement, like refugee rights movement, that all movements who are like fighting for justice and life and dignity come together, build alliances, have like understanding or awareness that maybe people are at different points in the process of being aware about maybe the struggle of other people. And yes, being in unity, and then we can be more strong and more dangerous. And I think maybe one last good example could be also like the fight for climate justice. Especially when we have a lot of listeners right now from the African continent. End of this year, I think, the COP27, the climate conference.
It's in Egypt in November.
Exactly, will take place in Egypt.
Yeah. Will you be coming?
I think I won't make it because hopefully in November I will be in Kenya.
Yeah.
Looking so much forward.
Oh my God. So Kenyans
Yes.
watching, Michael will be in Kenya in November. So you'd want to probably get to know him. I mean, I'm always in Kisumu. I'm always in Kenya, Nairobi. So always check out on what's next on this particular YouTube and catch up with him. So you were saying something about COP27 in Egypt?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I think, yeah, of course, if I could make it, would be nice, but maybe another time. But I think this COP, it's really important to be united with a Pan-Africanist perspective, demanding the climate justice we deserve worldwide, and especially on the African continent or in the so-called global south. And I think also connecting movements means also not being silent about the human rights situation in Egypt. Because what is happening there is so bad. There are so many political prisoners in the prisons, like Ale or many others. They're in hunger strike for a long time, and if we have now this public attention, we all need to outcall this. We all need to demand also social justice, because we can't have climate justice without social justice, and Egypt is not supposed to greenwash their prisons or their politics. And also we need to see the links from Europe and Germany, how they use Egypt to stop migration and so on. And this is connecting climate struggle, social struggle, migration struggle, freedom of movement, and so on and so on. And we can continue what's with the feminist struggle in Egypt. Also like supporting them and say, please, if there's attention and you present yourself as good like inviter or host for the conference, then also work on your issues in your country.
Then what is, in your opinion, what is the relevance between climate justice and peace? How does this two particular aspect connect? Do you think they connect in the first place?
I think we won't have peace, social peace or peace in general, when governments or states will fight against each other for water resources or any other resources. And we won't have peace among the people if they maybe lose their homes because of floodings and new conflicts, because there's less food or place to grow food and so on. So I think we really need to think it together and yes, met each other like in siblinghood, helping each other, being in solidarity, because solidarity will win.
All right, so thank you so much, Michael, for your sentiments. I think we've loved your story. It's quite flowing, and just to recognize that there are young people like Michael and myself, and you who is watching right now, who is also just doing the little that you can to contribute to development of your country, to the peace in your country, to bringing local solutions to the local problems you're facing in the community is very important. And maybe his last comments will be what are some of the solutions, potential solutions to African problems?
I don't know what to say exactly, but I think there are a lot of solutions already. There's a lot of knowledge already, like knowledge of the young people, but also knowledge of our ancestors and elders. We should just also ask for or listen to. Yes, and I think we really also should think about new creative ways how to come together, how to be together, and also how to question maybe the existing situations, like to have a better life for future generations to come. So let's stay active. Let's try also to watch for our energies, that we don't burn out. Do what we can, and then we will change the world together. Thank you very much for the opportunity. Kindly subscribe to IP's channel.
Thank you so much, guys, for listening. Thank you so much for, I know you'll be commenting a lot on this particular, storyline. And tell us, do you relate to what Michael just shared? If you're living in Germany, if you're living in any other part of Europe or out of Europe, UK, US, do you relate with, as a black person, as an African origin person, are you relating to what he said? And what are the potential or possible solutions to the current problems that Africans are facing? So do share that in the comment section and let's have a conversation. So at this particular point, I want to say bye and thank you so much for watching. Bye-bye.